Hello, all the people. It's a new president for a new era of American history. Grover Cleveland here. You're watching Ink the Book Show, the show that's going to make it all better. Settle down, settle down. You can follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitter. And if you like his work on the Bonehead comic, you can also watch his Bonehead cartoon. The link to all these things and more can be found in the description. Furthermore, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all things Wrangleshank and all things Ink the Book. Thank you. Ah.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book.
Hey, all the peoples, how's it going? Look at my Ink the Book Show shirt. My Ink the Book Show shirt. It's got an alligator on it. This camera is about to fall off the mount, so I just ordered a new one that should be here tomorrow morning. The good news is I thought I was going to have to replace the whole dang camera because I thought it was the part of the camera that the mount connects to, but it's the mount, which is like a quarter of the cost, I think. So cool there. Also I can get it by morning, so it'll be fixed. But hopefully I can pull this show off. Let's see. So today I'm just tracing blow-ups of this crummy note card, this scribbly drawing. I might just do these two here, so the top row of panels, and then I'll lay down my panels on the actual page. I'll just do the borders, and then I think I got a scram. I meant to do this all earlier today, but I'm a flaky artist type. What can I say? So let's see. We're tracing. Not that. We're not really tracing. We're trying to make these better drawings. So let's see. So this is going to be Denton Crooks crying out in pain because Bonehead beat him. And he drops the bottle, and Bonehead swings down and catches it. So this is Denton Crooks' jacket. Charlie bit me. Never heard of it. Here's Bonehead's big old teeth. Cheek. Looks kind of, what do you call it? Those cheeks look very that UPA style that everyone's kind of bored of. That's what that looks like to me right there. Actually, his head should probably not be that wide. You'd think I'd know how to draw my own dang character, huh? Okay, so yeah, usually his face kind of pops out like that. So that's what I'm gonna go for. See, and that's kind of typically where his nose / the point of his teeth lands, more or less right there. And then, yeah, that looks more like Bonehead already. When I made up this character, I didn't have rules for him for how to draw him, but I had to kind of dig them up. I had to figure out what worked and what didn't over time. And like I say, that little popping his face out like that, like that's the division line. It's like his nose kind of sticks out, but we don't really see it sticking out. Like, I had to kind of figure out a bunch of mechanics to his face like that. Like, he didn't even have a jaw when I first drew him. It was just his teeth and his cheeks sticking out. And eventually I needed him to talk, so I had to figure out how to make his face work that way too. Okay, this is still scribbly, but that's okay. Because eventually it'll land on the page. And then he's catching it. He's swinging down he's hanging from Denton Crux's arm. So my one roommate, she's got her two girlfriends over, and they're just having a big, fun, gabby time. They were listening to Bo Burnham and probably Taylor Swift. Watching Friends all night. Okay, so we've got his little crossbones bow tie. And his kooky spooky collar. It sounds like they're like inside this room to me. My roommate and her friends. My door is closed, but you know my right outside this room is this big loft area, which overhangs the living room, and so it's like any sound kind of carries into that ceiling, which is right outside my door. Oh wait, no, I think he's not. He doesn't got his eyes open. He doesn't got his eyes open. He's going, ah! Ouchie! Hi, Chihuahua. So here's his little nostrils. He's like, yipe. Let's see. Ouch. Maybe his fingers are more splayed, I think. Oh. And then okay. Let me pull this out because I can't tell what I'm looking at. So it looks like my mount is holding the camera just fine, right? But I have the cord like winding it in place, kind of. It sounds very rigged. So getting a new one finally tomorrow will be good. So, and then here's the main keel. He's catching this little bottle. Let me see. Oh, it's just a scribbledy mess. Okay. Well, that's a relief. I can do whatever I want then. I can make his hand a walrus if I so choose. Good. Good. So, Bonehead, his body. So he's swinging down, right? Wrong. No, he is. This is still rough, but I'm trying to like figure out the right drawing in it still. That looks awfully big for Bonehead's hand. So he's gonna... Like, I'm not opposed to doing exaggeration, but if it doesn't work in the image, then it needs to be redrawn. Not that the rest of this image is working necessarily. Yikes. Okay, so Bonehead is gonna time. Maybe that will make sense for me. Catch. Okay, so let's see. Is this working? Is this working? Is this doing what I'm trying to do? Oh, I saw that it looks like my stream played fine yesterday on YouTube and Twitch with no issues, but that little butterfly spider video that I put at the beginning of it got it blocked on Facebook by BBC World because some of the footage might be owned by them, it said. Which is fine. I don't care. But I don't know if that means like I don't know. I don't know what that means. It was blocked. See, that's the thing I don't get. It's like Facebook will have a problem that YouTube doesn't have a problem with. And YouTube will have problems that Facebook doesn't have a problem with. To which I say, leave me alone. We got smoke building up around the ceiling. Okay. Got all this machinery behind him. The panel isn't going to be this big, so I need that. Less of this. It's probably going to be something like that. Sometimes I need to scan these sketchbook pages, like yesterday. I'll show you the one I did yesterday. The only reason I'm penciling is because I'm out of pages to ink. And what? Oh, I thought somebody was talking to me. Maybe they are. They're swearing. So I think I'm going to scan these drawings and shrink them so they'll fit more comfortably in these panels. But I don't have time to do that this morning because I slept in. like a chump, like a no good, very bad man. Let's see. And he goes, "Hey, Billy, catch!" And he tosses it over to Billy TV. And then, so what does Bonehead look like? Does he look like this drawing? Because that's a crummy character. Let's start with his eyes. Billy, catch! Billy, heads up. And Billy says, "Quit calling here. I don't know you." It'd be a funny voice for Billy. He's one of the few characters that I've had all along for Bonehead that he is not in the cartoon that I made. But I always imagined him showing up later in the cartoon version. So, while I feel like that cartoon that I've posted of Bonehead, I think it needs to be revamped. I'm a little embarrassed by it now that it's been up for like a year almost. But I want to make more Bonehead cartoons. I don't even think I put Billy in this. I outlined a whole second cartoon that I would tell in 5 small parts that are like 5 separate cartoons, but then you can string them together. I just imagine that would be less daunting than making another 16 to 20 minute cartoon. So I've outlined a cartoon. I know what would happen in my next Bonehead cartoon, but Billy isn't in that either. But I imagine how he would come into the picture in the cartoon version, which is a little different than the comic version. Just because it's going to be his shoulder. Does this look like he's tossing it? Again, kind of huge for his hand. But I don't know. Sometimes when it's in action, kind of makes sense. Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like that twist on his hand. I think that's the ticket. Let's see. That looks more like he's tossing it. Right? If you're shouting wrong at your screen, Put a 1 in the chat. No. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what was going to make this pose more obvious. I think the answer is get another pose. Because he's got another arm here, right? I'm trying to imply that he's on the ground. Okay. Let's get a man's eraser in here. Not a boy's eraser. I miss out on so much boisterous chatter that I could be a part of by working on my comic. When I'm at the pearly gates, God forbid, and they ask me how I could have better spent my life, I just know I'm gonna say, I wish I spent less time making comics and more time goofing off. Just kidding. Well, but that is why you don't forsake. And now I do make it a point to hang out with my buddies. And I do make it a point, like today, I'm going to my sister's pool party. Like, you don't want to forsake all your time for your comic or whatever. Like, you need to keep your priorities and kind of treat them a little sacred. So I don't do everything with my friends. I do try to hang out with my buddy regularly. Like we're gonna watch the Breaking Bad finale. Or what do you call it? Better Call Saul finale. Monday night. That I haven't missed. We always watch Better Call Saul. I mean, and I was hanging out a little bit last night with them after my stream. You gotta kind of find a balance. I don't want to forsake the comic, but I don't want to forsake my time with my loved ones. This does not look like Billy yet. This doesn't look like him to me. Maybe if I give him these eyebrows, that helps. Give him a bigger mouth, that helps. Give him less of an almond-shaped face, that helps. Okay. It doesn't look like he's looking at... Eyes on the ball, Billy. He's like, what's a ball? I'm from space. We don't have balls where I live. We have cubes. Only cubes. Yeah. So here's the bottle. He's tossing it at him. I can justify the hand switching, by the way, because he catches it in this hand and he tosses it with that hand. I'm fine with that switch. If anyone's like, he's always talking about catching stuff like that, but he didn't do it. I thought about it and I justified it in my mind. I probably thought about it when I originally drew it too. Boy. It's like my brain fell out of my hands. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's get this light table out of the way. I think I've gotten all I'm going to get from that. He's going to be like, his body's... Doesn't this guy have shoulders? So... He's like, me? He's not that fat. That's not the corner of his body. Well, he says, Billy, catch. And Billy says, I can't understand you. You know what I really need to do is just draw Billy on his own without this stuff. Anyway, I think that's how I'll translate it to the page. I'll draw him in the background first, then this in front of him, then Bonehead. I might have to rework Bonehead. But if I draw him first, it'll like just his pose without the stuff in front of him. Because I'm trying to tailor the drawing of him to everything else in the panel. And it's cramping him. So let's see how big my panels are. I'll draw the panels and then I'll come back to this page tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. And I just closed the note card into the book, the sketchbook. Come out and play. No, I didn't. Where the heck is it? There it is. Okay, so we've got 2, 1, 2. So looking at that, let me get my ruler out. So we're going to call this page, I always write it on the date. It used to have a page section at the top. So here is Bonehead 199, take 2. Because I have one that says page 199 already. And this is replacing it. I should do that with this one. Oh, I did. 198.2. Bonehead 198.2. Good. Okay. And then I just like to mark off the corners with a pencil of this. So if you look, there's all these markings on this page. There's some little notes here. Then there's this bold outline. That's where you don't want anything to kind of go outside. Anything crucial, you don't want to go outside this bold line because it probably won't make the cut when you scan it into a document. Scan it and place it into a document. Then there's this dotted line, which is, I think that's your, I don't know, that's your like art safe line, I think. I think these are both like suggestions for panel borders. Like if you want a wider page, I go by this inner one, this innermost one. They say what they are somewhere on this page, but yeah, I don't care. I just have been sticking to what I know this whole time for this book. Oh yeah, this says live area. This one that I work in. This outer one is probably like some kind of dead area, some kind of zombified area. No. I think that's just where you got to start worrying about killing off your art and certainly your text. I think you want to generally keep your text in my border here, the one that I use for my panels. See, I thought there was somewhere that said text safe area, but I don't see that. Every once in a while they change what these pages say. So anyway, I marked off my 4 corners. And generally how I start, I haven't done this so much in a long time because I've been inking. So I like to go, so it does give you all these notches along the side. So there's these 2, these 2, these 2, and these 2 almost cut the page into perfect thirds. These 2 outer ones, there's a middle one here, but I use these 2 a lot. And they almost cut the page into perfect thirds, like when we judging or going by this border. I think if I go from the bottom one to the halfway point, all my gutters in this book have been 2 millimeters, which is the halfway point of these 2 marks that it gives me throughout the page. So I think if I go, I forget exactly, maybe not the bottom one. I think it's the top one. I think it's the innermost one. So halfway between. So there's these 2 points. There's these 2 points. I think this one and this one. If I put a gutter there and a gutter on the inner side of the inner half of this one, I think that cuts my thing into perfect thirds. Though I forget. It's no matter what I do in these borders, it's close enough for my liking, really. Because I do 3 rows of panels generally on any given page. And that's I work within those to break it up. So let's see. We're going to. We need 2 panels up here. I always mark the halfway point. Let's see. Do I want small? I think I'm going to go long, actually. The longer end of it. And I could always make it even longer than this if I wanted to. What? My pencil didn't touch the page for the back half of that line? And I always work with mechanical pencils, just like crappy Bic mechanical pencils. I don't care too much about having a fancy pencil. I just was always comfortable. Like I growing up, I always did all my drawing in my notebooks in school. So it took me a long time to even start using sketchbooks. Why is that even to me? I guess it is. Okay, I guess it is. It looks crooked. Took me a long time to use like actual sketchbooks. Like I didn't start using actual sketchbooks until my 30s because I used to draw everything. I used to sketch everything out in notebooks. I think I used to do this for the rest of the book. I think I did this where I would just go around the border and just kind of throw it down because otherwise I get kind of lost. Trying to see around the shadow of my ruler in the light on my desk. Okay. The shadow of the ruler sounds like, I don't know, like a Lord of the Rings movie. Never seen one. Never read one. Never read a Lord of the Rings. Never. I don't know nothing. Okay, so if I'm trying to make it a little longer, that means my gutter will be 2 millimeters down from this one. So I just want to see it. Okay. So I do a mark here. And I'll erase this so I can see the actual line. And do a mark here. And then I connect them. Okay. And we'll do this one. How wide do I want that panel to be? I think I'm going to, yeah, because I can afford to make the bottom one small. There's a little more going on in the middle. of this note card. So I'm gonna go low across these two. That looks a little thin for my gutters. So this is good. Sure. Alrighty. And then as far as the horizontal, or what do you call it? Vertical ones. This panel is a bit. This panel does need to be a bit thicker. That was a very wide drawing that I did in the book. Let's take a look. Because that's closer to the actual size. So, about a little more than half. It looks like I can cut in there if I need to. This looks like right about half. I think I'm gonna make it a little shy of half. So like about there. I think that's where I'm gonna divide it. So that would be, let's call it, so I've also got those points along the top here, the top and the bottom of the page. I'm going to go about, let's call it 4 millimeters in from this one. And that'll be my middle of my gutter. No, not 4 millimeters. Something like 8. My bad. So here's this one, the guide one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's that. One outside it this way. So 8 is my halfway point of my gutter. And we're going to come down here and we're going to do the same thing from this one. So from the inside middle, or I don't know what you'd call it, whatever. The left one of the middle. 1, 2, 3, middle of the page. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is like math for artists. And if you know me, I hate math. I revere math. I think math is amazing. Because it's truth in nature, like objective truth in nature. It's like we had to unearth 2 from the universe. And once we found the number 2, it was like finding truth in, I don't know. I mean, you know, all numbers, because numbers are real, whether or not mankind ever existed. And I find that amazing. Okay, so there's that. And then this is just going to be a wide panel. I might do something more dynamic with that. Let's see. So like sometimes I make like this set of panels narrower or this one wider, or maybe I'll make something overlap. Actually, I think what I might do, maybe I'll make these overlap this a little bit. Maybe not that one. Maybe this one I'll make kind of overlap. So these look like they're about halfway down the page. It's closing in a little more on this one. I think I have. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do because he's looking over at this guy over here in the corner. So maybe I'll give it a little more room for that. So, and plus, another thing I'm kind of looking for is like it'll balance out. Like if I make two narrow left panels and two wide panels this way, it's it kind of like makes it a lopsided page. And not that that's a grievous error, I guess. I do kind of try to make it a little more designy. So I would want maybe a narrower panel on this side to counteract that one. I just try to think about it a little designy when I can. So is all. So so here's the middle. These two little notches here. That's the middle of the page. This is the exact middle of the page. I'm gonna make it a little. I think I'm gonna put it. I'll go like right in between these ones and these ones. So let's see, what's the middle point? I think it's 9. It's something odd like that. 9 millimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So it's 18 between this line and this line that it gives me. Kind of weird. So 9 is the middle point. I think it's right where I sketched it too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, right where I sketched it. This is 1 millimeter out that way, 1 millimeter out that way. I guess it's not millimeters if it's on the inch side, but close enough. It's like an eighth of an inch, I guess it would be. This has no metric measurements on here. I'm just realizing. Okay, so I got that sketched. I need it here as well on the top. So we're gonna go in from this one, 9. Let me scratch it off so I know I'm doing it accurately. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here's one out. There's my gutter. Then I go across. I'm gonna make them kiss. Okay, not really, because I'm not going across the whole page. Boop. And then I can't see when the shadow is in the way. Line that up with that. Here's the other end of my gutter. Boom. Okay, am I going to do anything else with this page? Am I going to make this bigger? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to make this overlap here a little bit, make it come out a little bit, maybe go down a little bit. Because I want I kind of want his Denton Crux's little reaction here to be a little more grabby or something. And I think some of the acting kind of can happen in the panel structure. You know, you can make drama happen with the way you arrange your panels sometimes. So let's see. So I'm going to take this an eighth of an inch, an eighth of an inch. I'm just going to overlap it slightly. It's just going to overstep its bounds. So this only breaks it up into eighths. Oh, I'm sorry. This side of the ruler, it only breaks it up into eighths instead of sixteenths. So each mark is one gutter width for me for this book. So I'm going to go 2 just so it overlaps. Because I'm crossing the gutter, and then I'm going 1 gutter length past it. I'm also going to go beyond this line. I'm going to go 1 gutter length past that, which is going to be here. I'll do one down here, which you can't see. Okay. Here, I'll do it down this way as well. So here. Here, and I'm wondering if I should overlap these, but we'll see. Let's see what this looks like so far. I'm roughing up my camera. I'm taking out all this artistic angst on my camera. I tried blowing some little dust off my page, but I'm a mile away from the page, so it had no effect. Let's see. So that one. I'm wondering, should I make it be separate from this panel entirely? Should I make it overlap this panel? I think so. This border doesn't exist anymore. We decided we wanted to make it outgrow that. Let's see. I'm not going to use it. I don't like the pencil eraser very much. I have a huge box of these. I bought I don't know, a box of 100 or something. I don't know. I have it sitting on my bookshelf over there. So you see this kind of, and yeah, I think it does need that. I think it's gonna overlap this panel. So let's cut it in a gutter length. It doesn't look like a gutter length. I think this was off a little bit. It's not too consequential. Okay, so we're going to do one that way. Then I think I'm going to wrap this recording up so I can go to my sister's place. I'll continue this tomorrow. Okay, there's that. Then there's the light. Jiminy. Okay. Okay, so it's totally overlapping on all sides. It's like this panel is overstepping its bounds on all sides. Okay, so here's our page. So that's our layout. And then depending on if I draw them in my sketchbook, I'll just kind of trace them, tightening them up into these panels. Or I'll freehand it, or something in between. But I have to make this page on another day. I have to continue this page another day. Maybe tonight. I don't know what time I'm supposed to be home, but I suspect it's going to go kind of late. We'll see. Anyway, this has been Ink the Book Show, Sans Ink. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow should be morning, maybe a similar time. All right. Goodbye, everybody. If you like this show, click the bell, like it, subscribe to it. All that in a bag of chips. There's links in the description. You know how YouTube people talk. Goodbye. Don't do anything the Saints wouldn't do.